General Hospital spoilers for Friday, March 21st, reveal that Drew is receiving an unexpected offer, an opportunity that could completely change the dynamics of his position in the power struggle at Port Charles. But what's even more surprising is the person making the offer, Martin. Previously, Martin wasn't someone Drew thought he could trust or work with, but now, the situation has changed. Drew realizes that if he wants to continue strengthening his position and protecting what he's building, he can't fight alone. Martin, a seasoned strategist and a lawyer with many secret connections, has approached Drew with an enticing proposition. He has information that Drew could use, secrets that could help him gain control over a significant part of the business world in Port Charles. But Martin isn't the type to offer opportunities without conditions. He wants something in return from Drew, which could push him into a dangerous alliance. This marks one of the biggest shifts in Drew's life, a surprising alliance with someone he never imagined he would cooperate with. But can he trust Martin? Or is this just a trap set to manipulate him? One thing is for sure, this offer is not just a business opportunity. It could be the first step towards a new battle, a confrontation Drew never anticipated. And most importantly, this battle could lead him directly into a clash with Nina. Drew has tried to keep his distance from Nina after everything that's happened, but now, things may be changing. If Martin's offer involves power and influence in the business world, Nina will undoubtedly be involved. She has built her position in Crimson and has powerful relationships that can help her protect what she has. But if Drew decides to accept Martin's offer, it means he's ready to face Nina in ways he never thought possible. A new power struggle is slowly taking shape, and this time, it's not just about business interests. It's about revenge, about who will control the power dynamics in Port Charles. If Drew accepts Martin's offer, he might have the chance to regain power and protect what he's built. But at the same time, he will enter an uncompromising battle with Nina, which could bring consequences he didn't foresee. What will happen if Nina finds out Drew's plan before he can execute it? Will she retaliate by using her connections to stop him? And is Martin truly a trustworthy ally, or is he just using Drew as a pawn in a bigger scheme? One thing is certain, when Drew enters this battle, there's no turning back. If he's not careful, it could be a disaster, a fight that could change everything. But if he's ready to confront it, ready to take the risks, it could be an opportunity for him to regain control and put Nina on the defensive. This confrontation will forever change Port Charles, and when it erupts, no one can predict who will come out victorious. Drew stands at a crucial crossroads. Will he step into the battle, or will he find a way to avoid it before it's too late? One thing is for sure, when it's over, no one will leave this fight unscathed. Portia has caught up with Ava, and this time, their confrontation is not just about personal conflicts but is tied to a darker conspiracy than anything Portia could have imagined. Throughout this time, Portia has always felt that Ava was hiding something, but she could never pinpoint exactly what it was. However, as the clues start to surface, Portia realizes that Ava may be playing a significant role in a dangerous plan, a plan to destroy Drew, who she believes is facing more and more danger. Initially, Portia couldn't believe what she was discovering. While Ava wasn't a completely innocent person, Portia never thought she could be involved in such a dangerous scheme. But the more she digs, the more she realizes that Ava might not just be an outsider. She may have known about the plan targeting Drew, or worse, she may have been involved from the start. This story is gradually pushing Portia into an unavoidable situation. If she doesn't act quickly, Drew could fall into a deadly trap he can't escape. But the biggest problem Portia faces is how to gather solid evidence about this plan. She knows Ava is very smart and can twist things to her advantage, and if Portia isn't careful, she could become the next victim in this game. What makes the situation even more dangerous is that Ava isn't acting alone. Portia begins to suspect that Ava may be working with another force, someone with enough power to manipulate everything from the shadows. And if Ava is acting as a go-between in this plan, it means the real person behind it could be more dangerous than anyone Portia has ever faced. Portia knows she can't just stand by. She needs to act, and she needs to do it before Ava makes her move. But stopping Ava won't be easy. If Portia tries to expose the truth too soon, she might lose the only chance she has to save Drew. But if she waits too long, it could be too late. Constant questions swirl in Portia's mind. Who is really behind this plan? Is Ava truly being manipulated, or is she actively participating? And most importantly, what is the ultimate goal of this plan? Is it simply a personal act of revenge, or is it part of a larger conspiracy unfolding in Port Charles? The tension is rising as Portia realizes that it's not just Drew who is in danger. If Ava is indeed part of this plan, others could be targeted too. And if she doesn't uncover the truth quickly, not only Drew but many others might fall victim to this power game. The big question now is, what will Portia do next? Will she have enough time to expose the conspiracy, or will she get caught up in a dangerous spiral she can't control? One thing is certain, a disaster is approaching, and Portia only has one chance to change the course of events before it's too late. But will she be quick enough to stop the plan, or will she become another pawn in the game that Ava and the unseen forces are orchestrating? Port Charles is on the brink of a storm, and when it erupts, no one will be able to avoid the consequences. Liz and Lucky are facing a huge shock, a calculation neither of them ever anticipated. A new story is slowly unfolding, and this time, it's not just about their personal relationship but involves a series of complicated events that could change their future forever. New troubles are beginning to surface, all stemming from the mysterious death of Cyrus, an event that has left more fallout than anyone could imagine. Liz and Lucky once thought that after Cyrus's disappearance, their lives would be peaceful again. But the truth is the complete opposite. Cyrus's death didn't just close a dangerous chapter in their lives, it opened up a whole new series of problems. Hidden forces, disrupted relationships, and secrets that were never revealed are beginning to surface, pulling Liz and Lucky into a whirlwind they can't escape. The situation becomes even more serious when Aiden begins to show abnormal reactions to Cyrus's death. Although he had no direct connection to Cyrus, it seems his death has deeply affected the boy. Liz and Lucky realize something isn't right. Aiden is hiding a secret, or worse, he may be under someone's watch. Questions begin to form in Liz's mind. Is someone out there trying to manipulate Aiden? Did Cyrus leave behind a dangerous legacy they never knew about? Lucky, with his instincts as a former cop, starts digging deeper into Cyrus's death. But the more he investigates, the more he realizes that it's not as simple as everyone thought. It seems that someone has intentionally covered something up, and if Lucky keeps digging, he may uncover secrets that many people want to keep buried forever. But will he be ready to face the truth? Liz can't stand idly by either. She's worried about Aiden, about her son's future. If Cyrus's death is truly linked to some powerful force, is her family in danger? And more importantly, can she protect Aiden from the growing trouble surrounding him? The changes are escalating, and Liz and Lucky know they can't avoid it any longer. They have to face the truth, no matter how brutal it might be. Can they uncover the truth before it's too late, or will they be pulled into a dangerous game they can't control? One thing is for sure, their lives will never be the same. A storm is coming, and when it erupts, no one will be able to predict who will be the victor. Alexis was completely taken by surprise when she opened the door and saw Sidwell standing in front of her. She hadn't expected this encounter, and his sudden appearance could only signal one thing: trouble. His cold, piercing gaze gave Alexis an ominous feeling. Already accustomed to dangerous propositions, she knew that whatever Sidwell was about to say would not be simple. Before she could respond, he made an offer that she couldn't easily ignore. Sidwell never appeared without a good reason, which made Alexis even more cautious. He knew exactly when to approach her, when she was trying to maintain stability in her life and stay away from the dangers of the underworld. But that also meant he knew her weaknesses, things he could exploit to trap her in a situation with no escape. Every sense in Alexis warned her that this wouldn't just be a casual conversation. Reluctantly, she allowed him into her house, knowing that rejecting him immediately could only make him more dangerous. As they sat down, Sidwell slowly placed a folder in front of her. She stared at it, feeling the tension in her body rise. She opened the folder, and immediately, a chill ran down her spine. Photos, notes, and information that no one else but her and a few others could possibly know. Everything in Sidwell's hands contained details that could destroy her reputation, career, and future. She realized right away that this was a power game. If Sidwell had this information, it meant he had been watching her for a long time and was ready to use it whenever he wanted to achieve his goal. Her heartbeat quickened as she realized he was controlling the situation exactly the way he wanted. She knew he wouldn't leave until he got what he wanted, which meant she had to prepare herself for a plan she never wanted to be involved in. He didn't give her much time to think. He made his proposal, a task she couldn't easily refuse. He wanted her to take down Drew, and that was why he had come. This left Alexis stunned. Why was Sidwell targeting Drew? Why did he need her to do this? A flood of questions filled her mind, but what mattered most was that she couldn't show her panic. She knew refusing Sidwell wasn't simple. He wasn't the kind of man to accept a no without consequences. But at the same time, if she agreed, she would betray her own conscience and principles, dragging herself back into a world she had tried to escape for so long. She felt trapped in a no-win situation, and it made her realize her future was on the brink of danger. She couldn't help but think about what would happen if Sidwell decided to carry out his threat. He didn't just have information that could ruin her, but he could also threaten her family, Christina, Sam, Molly, people she had always tried to protect at any cost. If she didn't comply, would he go after them? Would he be willing to destroy not just her life, but the lives of those she loved? Alexis felt as though she was being pushed into a battle with no other option but to engage. But at the same time, she knew if she didn't find a way to escape this situation, she could lose everything. She couldn't let Sidwell control her like this, but she couldn't confront him recklessly either. She needed time, she needed a plan, but more importantly, she needed to figure out how to regain control before it was too late. Sidwell didn't give her much time to think. He left after issuing a warning that she needed to make a decision quickly. She knew time wasn't on her side, and every passing second could make the situation more dangerous. But she also knew that if she let him overpower her now, she would never get the chance to turn the tables. Alexis stood frozen by the door, thinking about what had just happened. A new trap was slowly forming, a scheme she couldn't avoid. If she didn't act now, she might become a pawn in the dangerous game Sidwell was orchestrating. A storm was approaching, and she knew she had to prepare for what was coming. Nina felt an increasing sense of unease growing inside her. She wasn't sure of her judgment, but one thing was clear, things were changing, and in a way she couldn't control. What worried her even more was that Willow seemed to be moving closer to a dangerous situation, and Drew might be the one pulling her into it. Nina had never fully trusted Drew, especially after everything that had happened between him, Carly, and herself. But this time, it wasn't just about personal conflicts or power struggles in the business world. There was something deeper going on, a secret that she couldn't quite understand. It felt like she was facing a complex puzzle, where not all the pieces were fitting together. But she knew one thing for sure, if she didn't act soon, Willow might be the one to suffer the consequences. Lately, she had noticed strange things in Willow's behavior. There were moments when her eyes revealed worry, but she tried to appear calm. At times, she seemed to be caught up in something Nina couldn't touch. Things got even stranger as Drew appeared more frequently in Willow's life. Casual meetings, conversations Nina couldn't overhear, but she could sense they carried a certain weight. Willow wasn't aware of the risks she was facing. Drew might not be completely evil, but he was getting involved in things Willow shouldn't be connected to. If she continued to side with Drew, continued to trust him without questioning, the consequences could be severe. Nina had tried to warn Willow before, but she knew their relationship wasn't strong enough for Willow to trust her completely. Every time Nina tried to protect Willow, it only pushed them further apart. But this time, she couldn't stand by and watch. She needed to act, and this time, she couldn't let her personal emotions get in the way. Things got even more complicated when Nina realized that not only Willow, but also she herself, could get caught up in this dangerous web. If Drew was really involved in some kind of plot, was he using Willow as a pawn in his scheme? If Nina did nothing, was she unwittingly allowing Willow to fall into an inescapable trap? Questions kept flooding Nina's mind. What should she do? She could directly warn Willow and try to convince her to stay away from Drew, but that might backfire. Willow could see it as another attempt at control from Nina, which would only bring her closer to Drew. If she decided to confront Drew, she would need concrete evidence, something that could force him to tell the truth. But what worried Nina most was that she might not be the only one watching Drew. If there was another force manipulating things, was she walking into a battle she wasn't ready for? If she wasn't careful, she could become the next target. She knew action was inevitable. She couldn't remain on the sidelines while Willow might be in danger. But how to act, and when, would determine everything. A new battle was on the horizon, and this time, Nina couldn't afford to lose. With each passing day, she felt time slipping away. Willow seemed to be growing closer to Drew, and that made Nina worry about the potential consequences. Was Drew exploiting Willow's trust? Or did he really care about her? Nina didn't want to jump to conclusions, but she knew she couldn't ignore the warning signs. Carly might be the only one who could help her find the answers. Though they had always had irreconcilable differences, Carly knew Drew better than anyone. If anyone could tell her what Drew was really up to, it was Carly. But the question was whether Carly would be willing to cooperate. Or would she think Nina was just trying to interfere in Willow's life again? Nina knew she had to be cautious. If she approached this the wrong way, she might lose the only opportunity to protect Willow. But if she didn't act, she might have to watch her daughter get pulled into a trap she couldn't escape from. This wasn't just a battle for power or fame anymore, it was a fight to protect family, to protect the daughter she had tried to reconnect with all this time. One thing was certain, Nina wouldn't stop. She would find the truth, even if it meant confronting anyone. Willow might not trust her now, but Nina wouldn't let her fall into danger because of one mistake. A storm was coming, and Nina knew she needed to be ready for what was about to happen.